Monster Sanctuary is a monster taming game in a world where more and more titles have been taking inspiration from the most popular of them all, Pokemon. But while most of these games generally tie themselves closely to the original formula, Monster Sanctuary opts to mix things up by converging the Pocket Monsters concept of capturing and battling creatures with the explorative style of a Metroidvania. A match like this seems like it would be made in heaven, but does developer Moiride Games have what it takes to express this concept well? Looks like we're about to find out in this Monster Sanctuary review. Monster Sanctuary starts off with a quick summary on the world and how humans and monsters live together in a mostly unharmonious fashion. Unless you're a monster keeper, the world outside of the sanctuary is a dangerous and wild place, as deadly beasts are always ready to attack. Now, this isn't a problem for your character, who is not only a monster keeper, but also one of 4 families who has a spectral familiar passed on for generations. This is where you select your starting monster from 4 options. They all vary both in appearance and in nature. Most of Monster Sanctuary's plot is fairly simple and not much to write home about. While the world has been peaceful, the appearance of more champion monsters leads people wondering if there's unexplainably strange events that are recurring. Now it's up to you to uncover this mystery, where you end up taking on an evil group who embody pure evil. You'll also be joined with 3 other characters who represent the other 3 families that you didn't choose at the start of this game. They're not particularly deep, but fairly likable enough in their own right. You won't interact with them much that often, so don't expect to form much of a connection as the story unfolds. What causes Monster Sanctuary to stand out is the gameplay and exploration. The story doesn't limit you to any singular path, and you're mostly free to explore at your own willful pace. Being a Metroidvania, there are times where you'll encounter an obstacle requiring a key or a certain monster to progress. Now, this is never frustrating, and it's actually quite satisfying once the pieces start falling together. Unlike most Metroidvanias, the majority of abilities needed to overcome certain obstacles are coming together in the form of monsters that you collect through your many battles. These monsters have abilities, like flying across gaps or breaking hidden walls to reveal treasures. This means every new monster that you encounter gives potential to new areas that you may be able to return to. These monsters aren't just for exploring the game's vast world. Just like the many Monster Tamer games before, most of your experience will be spent in combat, with your monsters fighting against various foes ranging from the wild ones that roam the field or even other monster keepers. This is by far the best part of Monster Sanctuary. Battles are done in mainly 3 vs 3 format, where you'll be able to construct a team of 3 monsters to fight. This opens up a plethora of builds, strategies, and formations for you to mix and match. There are over 100 of these things in Monster Sanctuary. There's a wild abundance of styles that perform well in this game, and it contains more than enough depth to where you can set your focuses on getting the most out of the strongest monsters you can find. It's also forgiving enough where players may freely choose to focus on a single monster with the intention to build around it successfully. There are indeed a lot of ways to build a monster to suit your needs, and along with its surrounding team, each monster has a unique skill tree, where you can apply points to their attacks, passives, or buffs and debuffs that you wish to have them learn. While early on, you might be limited due to the level requirements, a skill resetter later on can allow you to give your monsters exceptionally powerful builds of your choosing. It doesn't stop with just a skill tree either. Each monster possesses the ability to equip weapons and armor for stat boosts. This allows you to really give them a focus on playstyles, such as physical attackers, tankers, or supportive healers. The possibilities feel nearly endless and come along at a brisk pace as you progress through the game. Monster Sanctuary is a strong entry, not just as a monster tamer or Metroidvania perhaps, but in the totality of this experience. Very few are able to top just how many different strategies and builds devised for their monster cast, which easily surpass triple digits in number. Exploration is always a treat as you discover regions with new monsters to battle and apprehend. When doing so, it will lead you to ponder all the opportunities that you've then created. This is all mixed with visuals across the game's many unique biomes, and it gives rise to their own sense of style when it comes to exploration. The game's soundtrack also manages to keep your attention from the moment you begin this adventure. Monster Sanctuary is a must-play for anyone who considers themselves a fan of at least one of the genres it puts itself out to be. If you aren't a fan of either genre, it's still highly recommended that you examine this title and its experience. With Monster Sanctuary, the player should expect an immense depth to combat sequences along with a stimulating level of exploration, and these dynamics all blend in ways that few other games truly achieve, and this game achieves this wonderfully.